Hi, this is Christy. Let's do some examples together from Module 1 where we are asked to estimate. And I'm going to be using my Solving Math Word Problems checklist. I won't be showing it back and forth, so I'll just bring it off to the side and you'll hear me refer back to it. Here's our problem. Joe works for a paper company. Last week, his best customer ordered 14,296 cases of printer paper. Joe has already delivered 6,964 cases of printer paper. Approximately how many more cases of paper does Joe need to deliver in order to complete the order? So step number 1 asks us to understand the problem. Read, reread, and visualize. First, I'm going to reread the problem to make sure that I understand all of the words. Joe works for a paper company. Last week, his best customer ordered 14,296 cases of printer paper. And I'm going to put a box around that number because I think that's going to be important. Joe has already delivered 6,964 cases of printer paper. Approximately how many more cases of paper does Joe need to deliver in order to complete the order? The reason I underlined more is that when you're doing word problems in math, oftentimes when you have the word more, you're going to subtract. Now let's visualize this. I have a case of printer paper, just to represent the cases. And the total order was 14,296 cases of printer paper. Joe has already done one delivery. And the way I understand the problem, he needs to make one more delivery to complete the order. He has already delivered 6,964. We are trying to find what the second shipment should be in order to complete the order. I do not see any extra or missing information. I think I have everything that I need to move on to step 2. Step 2 says to make a plan to solve the problem. Come up with a strategy. My strategy is going to be take the total number that's already been delivered, subtract the first delivery. I think it's going to give me what's needed for the second delivery. Let's estimate the answer, which is what we are working on in Module 1. Here I'm going to round to the thousands place to make it easier. 14,296 rounded is going to be approximately 14,000. Now the first delivery of 6,964 is just about up to 7,000. And from looking at this, you can see how easy it's going to be to do in your head. 14,000 minus 7,000 is approximately 7,000 more cases of printer paper that Joe will need to deliver to complete the order. Step 4, reflect on the problem. Did we answer it? And I believe that we did. We know how much should be in the second delivery now. Let's move on to another example. Carlos earns $795 a week. He spends about $610 a week and he saves the rest. About how much will Carlos save in a month? I'm going to draw my picture on top of it this time so that you can see these boxes here. This is a visual that's going to help me. This is what Carlos earns every week. This is his total. And he splits it up. He spends the majority of his income. He spends $610. Spends. And he saves the rest. He saves this piece here. About how much will Carlos save in a month? Now when I reread that problem, I noticed that, well, number one, I did see some numbers. He earns $795 a week. He spends about $610 a week, and he saves the rest. About how much will Carlos save in a month? About means we get to estimate, and the other thing that's interesting to me is that up above, his salary is given to us in weeks, but down below, it's in months. That makes me think I'm probably going to have a two-step problem here. The question is asking us to find how much Carlos saves in a month, but I believe that our plan is going to be to figure out how much he saves in a week first, and then figure out how much he saves in a month. Let's go ahead and work on $795, and we're going to round. That is going to become $800. And the other number that we have is $610. We're going to round again to the nearest hundred to make it easy, and that's going to become $600. We're going to take the total minus what he spends, and that should leave us with what is left. That's what he's saving. So an approximation is $800 minus $600 equals $200. This is what he's saving. But are we done with the problem? No, because this is per week. The problem asked us to find how much will Carlos save in a month. Well, a simple calculation will get us from week to month. How many weeks are in a month? 4. 4 weeks equals 1 month. So, in our head, we can actually estimate how much Carlos will save in a month. $200 times 4 weeks is $800 saved per month. And I'm going to skip to step 4, which says reflect on the problem. Did you answer the question? I believe we did. About how much will Carlos save in a month? And we decided it was $800. Please return to your module.